All right, welcome back to the morning news. Red Robinson is joining us. Hi, Red. How are you?
Oh, terrific. A little sad note, though, before we get going. A great guy I had the pleasure of interviewing. Leslie Nielsen has passed away at the age of 84. And my connection is not just doing an interview with him, but his nephew, one of his nephews, Leslie Nielsen, named after him, lives here in Vancouver, and we've worked together for, I guess, a total of 20 years together on different projects, yeah. So a nice man, too, by the way, a lovely man.
Yeah. Yeah, very popular, and I loved all his movies. Right back to Airplane.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really was incredible.
And Naked Gun and everything. So, to his family, our great sympathies. A lot of the members of his family live in Richmond.
Okay. Yeah. All right, moving on, Red, 8:25 now here on the morning news. And we're talking about Revolver because it's you have a giveaway we'll do at the end around John Lennon.
Right. It's amazing because coming up next, I'll just show you this. This is this morning's Post, which has the story of John Lennon, 30 years. It's hard to believe. So knowing this, the guys that are members of Revolver, who are professional musicians, and they come together to do this every once in a while, probably the finest Beatles tribute act I've ever seen. Close your eyes, you swear to God it's the Beatles. They don't wear wigs and do all that. They just do the music. They put on, you know, the uniforms of the time. But it's Michael Ciccoli, Skip Prest, and this guy, Mick, Dalla-Vee, who you'll see here, plays with Randy Bachman, played at the Great Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Rocket Norton, who is the drummer with Prism. Now, after that large introduction, I asked the guys, when did you, first come together to do Revolver?
We have never done a show where all four of us haven't been there. If someone was not available, we don't do it. But yeah, right from the beginning, 86 at Expo, they asked us to put something together for the Beatles, and we just started playing. We had no idea. We just, we'll go up there and play.
Shoes.
It's just a gig. And
didn't we call it the Shoes?
We called it.
That's right.
Yeah, why did we call it the Shoes?
Well, it could have been called, whatever, the Hammers or something. But we called them the Shoes.
The Shoes.
It was kind of interesting because we played there for about 3 or 4 days, and the soundman kept talking about how we sounded like the Beatles. And so one day we walk in, and he's playing Beatles music over the PA system. And we were a little bit, walk up, what are you doing? Why are you playing this Beatles? He says, that's you guys. What? Like, I had no idea. Yeah. At that point, I went, geez, this might work.
We had no idea that it sounded so much like the record.
Wow, they are incredible, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? You close your eyes.
I just did, yeah, it's true.
It's the Beatles. And I asked the guys, I said, what was it like to play in front of 11,000 people at the PNE 2 years ago? And then again this past summer at Empire Field in front of 26,000. I asked them, how did that feel?
Well, I think part of it is the first 10 seconds we're on stage, I think a lot of times the audience is kind of looking at us going, what's this then? And within 8 bars of when we start playing, it's something about they see what they hear, and it's transformation happens, and it's almost immediate, and then it starts to build. Yeah. And by the time you get to the end, we've gone through this whole story, as the guys have said. We tell the story.
It's magic.
And we don't impersonate it. And then when you get to the end, it's the climax, and people really explode.
Oh boy.
You're driven inside, and I can honestly say it. I bet I can speak on behalf of the other guys that we've all played different types of music on stage. This music is simplistic, yet in its own way is so incredibly put together. How much fun is it to play these tunes?
Yeah, this is the most fun.
It involves everybody,
you
the
can't
whole...
help but break out in a smile when
I love every note. Every note.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun evening.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Great stuff.
Isn't it amazing? And, people get up and dance and everything. And Revolver, by the way, I must say, is at the Vogue Theatre a week today. A week today is the anniversary of the untimely death of John Lennon. And that's why they came up with the idea of this salute. And I think it's only proper. And what can you expect out of the show? That was the obvious question. What can people expect when they take it in at the Vogue next Wednesday?
Oh, sure. Well, here's what the audience could expect when they come to see Revolver, is it starts chronologically from the Ed Sullivan Show, we dip back in time because Ed Sullivan wasn't the beginning. It was the beginning for North America. And we go chronologically to 1970, where the Beatles broke up. It's enhanced with multimedia footage. We have period pieces, newsreels, this sort of thing, showing what's happening during those times. So it's an interesting, it's sort of a great historical thing regarding the Beatles and the events of the 60s as well.
And the audience will not be able to stop, I can promise you that, from singing, clapping their hands, foot stomping. In fact, I think last time we were here, didn't they get up and dance at the front?
That's right, yeah.
It's an amazing show. You've got to see it. I've seen it, like I said, twice at the PNE, of course, and then again at Empire Field. Just an amazing group. Next Wednesday at the Vogue Theatre, 8 o'clock.
All right, well, Red was nice enough to bring in a prize pack for us. We have a John Lennon book to give away that I think just came out recently.
Yeah, just a new release.
Yeah, and also a new John Lennon CD called Imagine that was released, and 4 tickets to that show next Wednesday. So here's the question. What was John Lennon's middle name, and what year and where did the Beatles play in Vancouver? Pretty simple. Email us at morningnews@globaltv.com. Put in the subject line Red, and you could be off to see that show along with 3 of your buddies next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, yeah. There'll be a lot about this, just like it was in the Post this morning, because for his generation, he was one of the outstanding artists, no doubt about it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Hey,
Red.
thank
Good to
you.
see you. Yeah, nice to see you.
Hey, take in Morning Glory. It's all about you.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back in a couple minutes. Stay with us.